Geobyte.
Hello friends, welcome to the GeoByte. In this video, I am going to explain the solutions for the problems given in different competitive exams for the subject physics. Dear friends, all the problems we are going to discuss in this problem were already asked in different competitive exams. Therefore, each and every problem is equally important. And hence my request is you please watch till the last problem. Look at the very first problem. The very first problem was asked in 2016 for the BPSC exam. Look at the problem. The SI unit of temperature is, dear friends, remember the thermometer reading is generally denoted by T, small t, and its units is degree centigrade in SI system. And absolute temperature is denoted by capital T, equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273. The resultant unit is Kelvin in SI system. Therefore, absolute temperature is in Kelvin. Absolute temperature is in Kelvin in SI system. Though in the problem it is not clearly asked the absolute temperature, the SI unit of temperature means you have to consider the problem the absolute temperature unit. The absolute temperature unit in SI system is Kelvin. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. Let us take the next problem. Look at the second problem. Was asked in 2019 and 2017 for SSC, given like this. The temperature at which both Fahrenheit and centigrade scales have the same value is. Remember, my dear friends, the Fahrenheit scale and Celsius scale or centigrade scale are coinciding only at minus 40 degrees. At a thermometer reading of minus 40, both centigrade scale and Fahrenheit scales are coinciding. You may have doubt that, sir, how? Let us take the temperature is minus 40 degrees centigrade. Minus 40 degrees centigrade. You know, the relation between the degree centigrade and degree Fahrenheit is the 1.8 degree centigrade is equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32. This is the relation between the degree centigrade and degree Fahrenheit. So 1.8 into degree centigrade. What is the degree centigrade? Minus 40. Minus 40 equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32. 1.8 into minus 40 is equal to minus 72 is equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32. Therefore, degree Fahrenheit is equal to minus 72 plus 32 is equal to minus 40. So look at the value. Minus 40 degree centigrade is equal to minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. That means at a thermometer reading of minus 40, both centigrade scale and Fahrenheit scales are coinciding. So conclusion is minus 40 degree centigrade is equal to minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. I hope all of you understood. This problem is very, very important. The option B is absolutely correct. Since this problem is very, very important, I am marking as a 5-star problem. Here 5-star problem means the most expected problem in the competitive exams. I hope all of you clearly understood. Let us take the next problem. Look at the third problem asked in 2013 for SSC exam, given like this. Gas thermometers are more sensitive than the liquid thermometers because the gases have low specific heat. Dear friends, remember the specific heat of water is around 4.2 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, whereas specific heat at constant pressure for air is equal to 1.005 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Look at the specific heat of the air and specific heat of the water. Specific heat of the air is very less comparatively specific heat of the water. That is the practical reason the gas thermometers are more sensitive than the liquid thermometers. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. I hope you understood my point. Let us take the next problem. Look at the fourth problem. Was asked in 2016 for SSC exam, given like this. The absolute zero is a temperature at which, dear friends, remember the temperature at which the molecular motion is zero is called absolute zero temperature. Let me write it. The temperature at which the molecules are unable to move from one location to other location is called absolute zero temperature. Absolute zero temperature. That absolute zero temperature value is minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. This is the absolute zero temperature. At that temperature, the molecules present in the any material cannot move from one location to another location. Anyhow, look at the very first option. Molecular motion in gas would cease. Would cease means molecular motion will become zero. So anyhow, option A is absolutely correct. Let us take the next problem. Look at the problem. Was asked in 2017 for SSC exam. Who invented the centigrade scale? Option A, Anders Celsius. Celsius is absolutely correct. Therefore, centigrade scale is also called Celsius scale. I hope you got my point. Daniel Fahrenheit invented Fahrenheit scale. Fahrenheit invented Fahrenheit scale. Celsius invented centigrade scale. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. Let's take the next problem. Look at the sixth problem asked in 2019 for NDA like this. The temperature of a place on one sunny day is 113 in Fahrenheit scale. The temperature is given 113 degree Fahrenheit. Okay. The Kelvin scale reading of this temperature will be, the absolute temperature which is in Kelvin equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273. For finding the absolute temperature which is in Kelvin, I should know the temperature is in degree centigrade. Then the relation between the degree Fahrenheit and degree centigrade is 1.8 degree centigrade is equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32. Here degree Fahrenheit value given is 113. So 113 minus 32. 1.8 degree centigrade equal to. Therefore degree centigrade, एक minute. Therefore degree centigrade equal to 113 minus 32 divided by 1.8. It is equal to 81 divided by 1.8 equal to 45 degree centigrade. It means 113 degree Fahrenheit is equal to 45 degree centigrade. Now come here, absolute temperature equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade, that is 45 plus 273 plus 273, it is equal to 318. Simplify this value for getting 318 Kelvin. Therefore absolute temperature in Kelvin is 318 Kelvin. Look at the options. Look at the very first option. Option A itself is absolutely correct. I hope you got my point. Let's take the next problem. Look at the seventh problem. Was asked in 2020 and 2018 for the CDS. Problem is, which one of the following is correct relation between the Kelvin temperature and Celsius temperature Tc? Dear friends, remember absolute temperature capital T equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273.15 unit is Kelvin. This is the exact value, but roughly we are also writing absolute temperature equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273. So this is the approximate relation. This is the exact relation. So look at the options. Look at the option C. The absolute temperature capital T equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273.15. Therefore, option C is absolutely correct. I hope you got my point. Let us take the next problem. Look at the eighth problem. It was asked in 2018 for HPPSC. The problem is, mercury thermometers can be used to measure the temperature up to 360 degrees centigrade. The mercury thermometer is generally used for measuring the temperature up to 360 degrees centigrade, and thermocouples are generally used for measuring the very high temperature. Let me write that point. Thermocouples are generally used for measuring very high temperatures. So anyhow, option C is correct. Let us take the next problem. Look at the ninth problem. Asked twice already for SSC exam 2015 and 2017. It means this problem is very important problem. Therefore, I can mark as a 5-star problem. 5-star problem means the most expected problem in the competitive exams. Look at the problem. Who among the following scientists invented the mercury thermometer? Dear friends, remember the DG Fahrenheit invented the mercury thermometer. Let's go for the next problem. Look at the 10th problem. Was asked in 2017 for NDA exam given like this. A Kelvin thermometer and a Fahrenheit thermometer both give the same reading for a certain sample. What would be the corresponding reading in Celsius temperature? It is given like this. The absolute temperature, which is in Kelvin, and the thermometer reading which is in Fahrenheit, both are identical. If these two temperatures are equal, what will be the temperature in degree centigrade? For that, absolute temperature which is in Kelvin equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273, and 1.8 degree centigrade is equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32. This is the relation between the degree centigrade and degree Fahrenheit. From this degree Fahrenheit, thermometer reading in degree Fahrenheit equal to 1.8 times the thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 32. From this I have written, from this degree Fahrenheit equal to 1.8 degree centigrade plus 32. So absolute temperature which is in Kelvin is how much? Thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273 is equal to thermometer reading in degree Fahrenheit equal to 1.8 times the thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 32. You simplify this value for getting the corresponding temperature in degree centigrade. From this I can write 1.8 thermometer reading in degree centigrade minus thermometer reading in degree centigrade is equal to 273 minus 32. So 0.8 times the thermometer reading in degree centigrade equal to 273 minus 32. Therefore, thermometer reading in degree centigrade equal to 273 minus 32 divided by 0.8. The approximate answer is 301.25. So this is the temperature which is in degree centigrade. So when the Fahrenheit temperature and Kelvin temperature are identical, the thermometer reading in degree centigrade is 301.25 degree centigrade. Look at the option B. Option B is approximately correct. I hope all of you clearly understood. This problem is very important problem. Therefore, let us mark as a 5-star problem. Very important problem. Let us take the next problem. Look at the 11th problem. Was asked in 2018 for the BPSC exam, given like this. The value of 40 degree centigrade, Celsius is also called centigrade, in Fahrenheit scale is. That means if thermometer reading in degree centigrade equal to 40, what is the thermometer reading in degree Fahrenheit? For that, relation between degree centigrade and degree Fahrenheit is 1.8 times the temperature in degree centigrade equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32. It means 1.8 times the temperature which is in degree centigrade is equal to thermometer reading in degree Fahrenheit minus 32. 1.8 times the, what is the thermometer reading in degree centigrade? 40 is equal to thermometer reading in degree Fahrenheit plus 32. Therefore, thermometer reading in degree Fahrenheit equal to 1.8 times the 40. 1.8 times the 40. 1 minute, this is a printing mistake. This is a minus. Should be very careful. Minus. So, plus 32. You simplify this value for getting around 104 degree Fahrenheit. It means 40 degree centigrade 40 degree centigrade is equal to 104 degree Fahrenheit. So look at the options. Look at the very first option, 104 degree Fahrenheit. Therefore option A itself is absolutely correct. This problem also equally important problem. Therefore let us mark as a 5-star problem. This kind of problems are frequently asking in different competitive exams. Let us move to the next problem. Look at the problem. Was asked in 2017 for SSC exam, given like this. A non-volatile solid is added to water, its boiling point will be increased. This point also very important. Remember my dear friends, if I add the salt to the water, boiling point of the water increases. So the question is given, a non-volatile solid is added to water. If a non-volatile solid is added to water, definitely boiling point of the water increases. Therefore option B is absolutely correct. Look at the problem. Was asked in 2014 for SSC, given like this. A change of 10 in centigrade scale corresponding to what change in Fahrenheit scale? If the temperature change in Celsius scale is 10, what is the temperature change with Fahrenheit scale? That is the problem. For that 1.8 degree centigrade equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32. This is the relation between the degree centigrade and degree Fahrenheit. Can also be written as 1.8 into thermometer reading in degree centigrade equal to thermometer reading in degree Fahrenheit minus 32. So let us differentiate it on both sides. 1.8 into the difference dt in degree centigrade equal to dt in degree Fahrenheit. Differentiation of constant is 0. So 1.8 into difference in temperature of degree centigrade is equal to difference in temperature of degree Fahrenheit. 1.8 times the, what is the temperature difference in degree centigrade? Temperature difference in degree centigrade is 10. So 1.8 into 10, 1.8 into 10, should be very careful, is equal to temperature difference is in degree Fahrenheit. Simplify this value. The temperature difference in degree Fahrenheit equal to 18. If the centigrade scale is differed by 10, Fahrenheit scale is differed by 18. Therefore option A itself is absolutely correct. Option A is absolutely correct. This problem also very important problem. Therefore let me mark as a 5-star problem. In this video many 5-star problems are there. Most expected problems are there. Let us take the next problem. Look at the problem. It is asked in 2017 for SSC exam. All these are already asked in different competitive exams. Look at the problem. What is an endothermic reaction? Dear friends, remember, exothermic reaction is releasing the heat energy, whereas endothermic reaction is absorbing the heat energy. It is asked for endothermic reaction. For endothermic reaction or during the endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Once again, exothermic reaction is releasing the heat, whereas endothermic reaction is absorbing the heat. That is the reason I have selected option B as correct. Let us take the next problem. Look at the 15th problem, was asked in 2017 for SSC exam. Asked like this: what is the process of conversion of solid state directly to gaseous state is sublimation. Dear friends, there are different phase change process, like evaporation, condensation, similarly freezing, next one melting, next one sublimation, next one sublimation, is also called desublimation. Dear friends, remember, in the evaporation process, liquid turn to vapor, whereas in the condensation process, vapor is turned to liquid. During the freezing process, liquid is becoming solid. On the other hand, during the melting process, solid is becoming liquid. During the sublimation process, solid is directly becoming gas or vapor. The direct phase change from solid to gas is called sublimation, and the opposite process is called desublimation or sublimation. During the sublimation process, gas is becoming solid. Remember, both sublimation and sublimation both are occurring at below triple point state. At below triple point state. At below triple point state, solid is directly becoming gas or gas is directly becoming solid. That means there is no liquid phase below triple point state. Triple point state means the state at which three phases of the material like solid, liquid and vapor are coexisting in equilibrium state is called triple point state. For water, the pressure at the triple point state is 0.00611 bar, and corresponding temperature is, the temperature at triple point state is 273.16 degrees centigrade. So this is the information for water only. Water triple point pressure is 0.00611 bar. Triple point state temperature is 273.16 degrees centigrade. Anyhow, the direct phase change from solid to gas is called sublimation process. I hope you clearly got my point. This problem also very important problem. That's why I am making as a 5-star problem. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the 16th problem asked in 2017 for SSC exam. Asked like this: during summer, water kept in an earthen pot becomes cool because of the phenomena of evaporation. Dear friends, generally in India, we are using the earthen pot in the summer season for the purpose of cooling the water. Once you keep the water in the earthen pot, the water particles are there on the outer surface of the earthen pot getting evaporated. By the time the water particles are evaporating from the outer surface of the earthen pot, it is collecting the heat from the water available inside the pot. Therefore, that water is decreasing its temperature, or that water is cooled. That cold water is sufficient enough for drinking. Anyhow, when you keep the water in the earthen pot, water keep on evaporating from the outer surface of the pot. Because of that, water inside the pot will be cooled. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. I hope all of you clearly understood this problem also very important problem. Therefore, I am marking as a 5-star problem. In this video, there are many 5-star problems. Let us take the next problem. Look at the 17th problem was asked in 2013 for CDS like this. A liquid initially contracts when cooled down to 4 degrees centigrade. On further cooling down to 0 degrees centigrade, it expands. The liquid is water. Dear friends, remember, by the time the water is cooling up to 4 degrees centigrade, water volume decreases. It is like this. If I take the temperature versus volume coordinate system, let us take the water in a container. Let us take the water in a container. This is the water. That water may be maintaining some 25 degrees centigrade. So temperature of the water is 25 degrees centigrade. Volume occupied by the water, let it be some 3 meter cube. Corresponding to 25 degrees centigrade and 3 meter cube, you mark a point. This is the point where the temperature of the water is 25 degrees centigrade with a volume occupied by the water is 3 meter cube. When I cool that water, temperature of the water decreases. Along with temperature, volume occupied by the water also decreases up to it reaches to 4 degrees centigrade. Once the water reaches to 4 degrees centigrade, because of further cooling, the temperature is dropping, but volume occupied by the water increases up to 0 degree centigrade. That means from 4 degree centigrade to 0 degree centigrade, the volume increases, means the water is expanding. It is like this. By the time the water is cooling, the temperature is dropping from 25 degrees centigrade to 4 degrees centigrade. During this temperature dropping process, volume of the water decreases. During the same cooling process, from 4 degrees centigrade to 0 degree centigrade. This is also cooling process, but volume occupied by the water increases. Volume occupied by the water increases means the water expands. The water expands from 4 degree centigrade to 0 degree centigrade. But by the time the water is cooling from 25 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade, the volume decreases means the water is contracting or compressing. I hope you clearly got my point. So anyhow, let me read the problem once again. This problem also very important problem. So many 5-star problems are there in this video. Therefore, my request is you please practice at least 2 times the each and every problem. Problem is a liquid initially contracts when cooled down to 4 degrees centigrade. Yes. So initially it is contracting up to it reaches to 4 degrees centigrade. On further cooling to 0 degree centigrade, it expands. It is true, na? On further cooling to 0 degree centigrade, it is expanding. That material or that liquid is water. This is the peculiar property of the water only. It is not true for all liquids. It is only for liquid water. I hope you got my point. Let us take the next problem. Look at the 18th problem. Was asked in 2019 for CDS. Problem is given like this. The rate of evaporation of liquid does not depend on. Dear friends, remember the water evaporation or liquid evaporation depends on first one temperature, second one surface area exposed to or exposed surface area exposed to atmosphere or atmospheric temperature, better to write clearly, atmosphere, and the moisture content in the air, moisture present in the air. Moisture present in the air is called humidity. Remember, when the moisture present in the air is more, evaporation rate is less. Anyhow, the evaporation of any liquid depends on temperature, surface area exposed to atmosphere, and specific humidity or humidity. Look at the problem once again. The rate of evaporation of liquid does not depend on mass of the liquid. Therefore, option C is absolutely correct. The evaporation of the liquid depends on temperature, surface area exposed to atmosphere, specific humidity, but it is independent on the mass. Therefore, option C is absolutely correct. This problem also equally important problem. Therefore, I am marking as a 5-star problem. Let's take the next problem. Look at the 19th problem. Was asked in 2018 for CDS. Problem is, which one of the following can extinguish fire more quickly? Option A, cold water. Option B, boiling water. Option C, hot water. Option D, ice. Remember, my dear friends, the boiling water can quickly extinguish the fire. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Once again, the boiling water can extinguish the fire very rapidly. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. This problem also equally important. There are so many 5-star problems in this video. Let us take the 20th problem. Look at the 20th problem. Was asked in 2020 for SSC exam. given like this. Dash expansion makes the Eiffel Tower taller during summer season. Thermal expansion. In the summer season, since the surrounding temperature is very high, that high temperature is causing for thermal expansion in the material used for the Eiffel Tower. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Dear friends, remember, generally metals are expanding at high temperature and contracting at low temperature. For that reason only, we are placing a small gap between the two rods of the railway track. If I take the railway track, you can find a small gap between the two rods of the railway track. That gap is allowing the expansion and contraction during the summer season and winter season. Generally, metals are expanding in the summer season. In the summer season, generally metals are expanding. In the winter season, the metals are contracting. In general. The metals are expanding in the summer season, contracting in the winter season. So that expansion I can say thermal expansion. That is the reason option B is absolutely correct. This problem also equally important problem. 5-star problem. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the next problem. Was asked in 2019 for CDS like this. Rate of evaporation increases with an increase in surface area. Absolutely correct. An increase in humidity? No. When the humidity is increasing, evaporation decreases. Not correct. Decrease in wind speed? No. When the wind speed is decreasing, evaporation rate is decreasing. Decrease in temperature. When the temperature is decreasing, evaporation rate is decreasing. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. Let us take the next problem. Look at the problem. Was asked in 2017 for SSC exam. What is the exothermic reaction? Exothermic reaction is always releasing the heat, whereas endothermic reaction is absorbing the heat. Once again, endothermic reaction is absorbing the heat, whereas exothermic reaction is releasing the heat. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. Let us take next problem. Look at the problem given in 2017 for NDA like this. What is it difficult to measure the coefficient of expansion of liquid than solid? Option A, liquid tends to evaporate at all temperatures. Option B, liquids contract more heat. Liquids conduct more heat. Liquids expand too much when heated. Their container also expand when heated. Yes. For heating the liquid, we need to place the liquid in the container. By the time the container is heated, water is rising temperature. Therefore, the container and water both are expanding. That is the practical reason we are unable to measure the exact coefficient of expansion of the liquid. So therefore, option D is absolutely correct. I hope you clearly got my point. Let me explain once again. By the time, let us take the container. For placing the water. So when you keep this on the burner, The burner is giving the heat energy for the container. By the time the heat is supplied, this container is expanding. Container is expanding and water is also expanding. Water is also expanding. That is the practical reason. Exact expansion of the water present in the container cannot be measured because the container is also expanding. I hope you clearly got my point. This problem also very important problem. So many important problems are there in this video. Let us take the next problem. Look at the 24th problem asked in 2019 for SSC exam. The first law of thermodynamics is concerned with the conservation of energy. First law of thermodynamics says that the total energy in the universe remains constant. It means energy neither be created nor be destroyed, but one form of energy can be converted to other form of energy. Anyhow, first law is talking about the energy. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Let's go for the last problem. Look at the last problem. Was asked in 2017 for SSC, given like this. At what temperature the density of water is maximum? Dear friends, remember, at 4 degrees centigrade, the density of the water is maximum because the volume occupied by the water at 4 degrees centigrade is less. It is like this. If I take the temperature versus volume coordinate system, let us take the water in a container. Water in a container. That water is maintaining initially temperature 25 degrees centigrade and volume equal to some 5 meter cube. Corresponding to that information, you mark the state of the water. This may be the state of the water where the water is maintaining 25 degrees centigrade with a temperature 4 degree with a temperature 25 degrees centigrade, volume 5 meter cube. When I cool that water, temperature of the water decreases up to it reaches to 4 degrees centigrade. Thereafter, because of further cooling, temperature is dropping but volume increases. So up to 0 degrees centigrade. Anyhow, from 25 degrees centigrade to 4 degrees centigrade, volume decreases. And from 4 degrees centigrade to 0 degrees centigrade, volume increases. It means at 4 degrees centigrade, in the water, volume is less. Volume is very less. Volume is minimum. The density rho equal to ratio between the mass of the liquid and volume occupied by the liquid. For the same mass, since the volume is less at 4 degrees centigrade, density is high. This point is very important point. Remember, water is occupying less volume at 4 degrees centigrade. That is the practical reason the density of the water is high. That highest density of water, the maximum density of the water at 4 degrees centigrade is equal to 1000 kg per meter cube. That is the highest density of water only at 4 degrees centigrade. So look at the question once again. At what temperature the density of water is maximum? 4 degrees centigrade. Therefore option D is correct. Since this problem also equal important, I am marking as a 5-star problem. With this problem, my dear friends, I am concluding this video. Since all these problems are equally important, it is better to practice at least 2 times the each and every problem. While you are practicing, if you find any doubt, you please send your doubt to GeoByte Definitely, I will answer your doubts within 24 hours. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel called GeoByte. Have a great day.
Geobyte.